This chart right here is the key, in my opinion, when we're going to see the next massive breakout. We have been in this 8-year trend and we have not fully broken out. What will happen when we fully break out of this? I'm going to talk about this chart. What the heck are these yellow lines as well? I first want to talk about the price of Bitcoin. So we saw a nice healthy pullback from around 112,000 and now we are sitting at around 108. Totally normal, totally healthy. I think just looking at this chart, having a pullback makes a lot of sense. And right here, taking a look at the liquidations, we can see quite a lot of liquidations of people going long, mostly on Bitcoin. So when the price goes higher, people unfortunately think it's just going to continue to go higher. And then what happens is market makers and massive whales go out and try to liquidate massive positions, which is what we saw. Over $500 million of people going long liquidated. So taking a look right here, the altcoins, the top 100, they have been down for the day. For the week though, we're still up. For the month though, we are still up. But today we went down. No big deal. Not concerned. We are just seeing a nice, healthy retracement because, we blasted through an all-time high. I can see us coming back down into this range, possibly even like $90,000. None of this would concern me, right? None of this would concern me. And if you're taking profits, cool. You'll have some dry powder to invest when we see a pullback. At least I think we will be seeing a pullback. Right here, year-to-date ROI for Bitcoin, we are seeing it basically cross and match what we saw in 2021. So this year is matching what we saw 4 years ago. Pretty cool there. By the way, if you're a trader, check out BTCC where they're offering a 10% bonus on first-time deposits up to $10,055. So what I want to talk about before I get to this chart is what happened recently. So Trump is threatening some tariffs. So Lawrence Leopard on Twitter said Bessent in the Oval Office. Scott Bessent, sir, we are losing the bond market. The Japanese 40-year is going parabolic and the US 10-year is creeping higher. Trump, this is obviously fake. You're the expert. What do you recommend? Scott Bessent, sir, we need another tariff scare to hit the stock market and drive money into bonds. How about we hit Apple with 25% and Europeans with 50%? So that's basically what happened, right? Yesterday, Trump says, I'm recommending a straight 50% tariff on the EU starting June 1st. And then he said, a tariff of at least 25% must be paid by Apple to the US. So all of this is happening, right? All this is happening right now. And that is a huge, huge reason why Bitcoin went down. It's actually up for the day, but it went down yesterday, right? The S&P is down 0.67%. The VIX is up and the bonds are down, right? We can see the NASDAQ down around 1% as well. Take a look at gold. It's up almost 2% today. So that's what happens, right? Little tariff scare, the market sells off, Bitcoin sells off, gold goes up, etc. So, that's also happening in the background, including everything that I'll share in just a moment. Here, a quick chart of Bitcoin versus M2 Global Liquidity Index, 10-week lead. And even this little pullback that we're seeing for Bitcoin could or could not be predicted by the M2, where we're seeing this pullback. So we'll see. We'll see if this plays out. If so, we're going much, much higher. So let's talk about this chart where it's showing where we have golden crosses. Golden crosses are where the 50-week simple moving average goes above the 200-week, which shows signs of bullishness in the market. And the blue line is the 50 and the 200 is the little magenta line. So we saw a cross 2 days ago. Now, what happens previously? Well, sometimes there can be a pullback and then eventually the market rallies. So right here, the market rallied after this golden cross. Back in 2023, there was a pullback and then the market massively rallied. So there could be some temporary pullbacks like we saw right here back in 2021. We saw a pretty big pullback for the price of Bitcoin. Let's take a look at how big this was. So more or less a 20% pullback or so. And then we saw the price of Bitcoin rally 64%. So that could totally happen. And it really doesn't matter much at the end of the day because at the end of the day, Bitcoin's going higher. And I believe altcoins will be going higher as well. Let me take a look, move this to the 1 week. And then I want to talk about this trend line. And this is pretty interesting, right? So this is going all the way back to 2017 or the beginning of 2018. So 6 years, 7 years or so, depending on how you look at it. And this is a crude line, a crude trend line of resistance, which is fascinating. Starting all the way back at the peak of December 2017, that bull market, and we've had some wicks above, but we've never closed a week above this trend line, which is fascinating. Going all the way back here, you can see here, this is for the weekly chart, or these are weekly candles. We've had wicks above, but we've never closed a week above this. So what's going to happen when Bitcoin closes well above this? When we close a week above 120, 130, $140,000, right? Like what's going to happen when that happens, which I believe it will, when Bitcoin closes a week up here. So it's just a matter of when it's going to happen. Could Bitcoin squiggle down and then skyrocket? Totally. Could Trump say something to spook the market for another few months? Yes. Could we go into a temporary recession? Sure. Will Bitcoin eventually go up to over $150,000, over $200,000? In my opinion, without a doubt. Without a doubt, yes. So this is a trend line. It's pretty interesting to take a look at that, and we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted, but I think this is pretty interesting to see just how far back this goes. So before I go, two little quick plugs. The first, if you don't have a hardware wallet, you can grab a Tangent below. So right here, if you take a look at the computer, get the 3-card set. It's the best. You're going to get 10% off. So it's around $63, which is super, super cheap. And then if you haven't checked out the Gemini credit card, you can check it out here, right here. Getting 3% back. I went to Chipotle today or yesterday, and then I did some grocery shopping, got 2% back there. I'm getting paid in Bitcoin. So literally every time I swipe my card, I get paid in Bitcoin immediately. So I have captured a lot of the gains that Bitcoin has done, even though I've only been using this card for a few weeks. So if you want the card, I will leave the link to that below, and also to sign up with Gemini if you're not already a customer. Hope you guys are doing well. I try to make these videos short and sweet to not waste your time. Summary, we are going up. Altcoins are retracing because Bitcoin retraced. Not a big deal. Trump is scaring the market with tariffs. What happened the last time he scared the market? Well, there was some nervousness, and then ultimately he said, buy the dip, buy buy crypto, right? Remember that? He was literally like, buy the stock market, and then the market ripped. So that's what I expect to happen, guys. But who knows what's going to happen in the short term. Long term, I am pretty darn certain what's going to happen with crypto. Hope you guys are doing well. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.